All right, batter up. It's time for Hitting the Cycle. We discuss all the hottest news around the world of baseball. I'm John Paul Salamanca. This is Ed Molina. And Ed, who's on first?
Derek Jeter, who's now 7th on the all-time hit list.
My man.
Maybe able to creep up to 5th. It would be, considering that this team is going nowhere as far as the playoffs, it'd be a nice way for Jeter to end his career.
I wouldn't say that they're not going nowhere. I mean, they're only 2.5 games back right now in terms of the division. I mean, I'm as a fan who remembers vividly Jeter's debut season, 1996. Congratulations to the captain. We're definitely going to miss him. Yeah, he's got a chance to really go out on a high note, perhaps move up a little bit in the standings in terms of the historical hit list, and maybe if the Yankees get hot late in the season, he could end it with a playoff note.
They got no pitching. Sorry. So who we got on second?
Oh, we got the Miami Marlins. They're starting to make another one of their famous late season surges. So with that situation in mind, even though that the Marlins aren't typically a team that goes out on big spending sprees, they could potentially become a buyer right now as a trade deadline comes along. What do you think?
I mean, this is a team that's been historically cheap. They'll splurge, they'll not splurge, they'll splurge and not splurge. They're very schizophrenic. You don't know what you're going to get.
But at the same time, I mean, they keep in mind, this is also a team, not this specific team, but this is a franchise who has won 2 World Series rings over the last couple of years. So, I mean, I think that they've also shown a track record where when they're close enough, I think that's when they usually spend something or they go out and get a big star. So there's something to be said about that.
I think considering how much of a tax burden that stadium is, they better invest in the team and make it better and justify this expenditure. Because at the end of the day, the stadium is sitting on the backs of the taxpayers in Florida.
All right, so who's on third?
Big Papi, David Ortiz and the Tampa Bay Rays. Apparently they don't like his showboating. I got no problem with it. I mean, we complain about the no fun league. We can't brag after a touchdown. Look, if I hit the home run 400 feet, you damn right I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to point to you. 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 You in the stands. I'm going to point to everyone. I'm sorry. You hit a home run, that's a big deal. That's a big happy thing. That's a big feat.
It is a big feat, and I think everybody loves to be entertained when they go to these games. But at the same time, I think when you're putting yourself in the pitcher's position, when you're after you give up a big meatball over the plate, I don't think that they would appreciate having it rubbed in their face. So in this case, Archer has some kind of ground here.
You know how you prevent that? Don't throw a meatball. Don't give up a home run. That's like the cornerback who gives up a touchdown and then the wide receiver spikes the ball in his face. Don't want him in the end zone? Stop him. Simple as that.
Fair enough.
So home plate.
Well, big news from the MLB trade deadline is coming up on Thursday, and we're going to have some big names that have been circulating around the hot stove right now. So we start off with John Lester. Apparently, he's indicated that he's willing to leave Boston. What do you think?
I've heard he's the Dodgers are interested in him, which would mean Kershaw, Greinke, and Lester in the playoffs.
That's a scary lineup right there.
In a 5-game series, man, that's tough.
Yeah,
that's really is tough. In a 7-game series, that's going to be just as tough. So it'll be interesting how if he ends up in LA.
Yeah, I think that personally, he might end up actually staying put. Apparently, I've been hearing also that some teams might be a little bit hesitant in terms of going out and getting a guy they can only get for a couple of months, unless you're a super contending team that's on the cusp of things.
Right. Another name I keep hearing is Troy Tulowitzki. The Mets name is being thrown around. While I would love to, I'm a Mets fan, and while I would love Tulowitzki, I'm not sure I want to lose Syndergaard in the trade. I like the young assets we have. Obviously, at some point, we're going to have to trade some of those assets to get veterans in here. Tulowitzki might be that guy. He might be. But Syndergaard, that's a high price to pay.
And speaking of guys who are going to fetch high prices, David Price, the Tampa Bay Rays ace, he's undoubtedly the big go-to free agent right now in this period. So what do you think? Where do you think is he going to go? Is he going to stay in Tampa?
I think he's going to go, but Tampa Bay can wait as long as they want on this because they've already seen what Submerger went for. They can hold anyone ransom right now for young players, which is what they've done traditionally, is they hold their veterans for young players, flip them around, and then surprise the Red Sox and the Yankees down the road. And they're still contending for a wild card spot, if I'm not mistaken. So I'd hold on to him until I get an offer you can't refuse.
And that wraps up this edition of Hitting the Cycle. Remember to tune in next week for more. And to continue the conversation, remember to log on to LatinPost.com and follow us on Twitter at LatinPostSports.